'Twas the night before Christmas, and Santa needed a poo. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all round the world all the children lay dreaming, all the good boys and girls. Their mammas and papas downstairs they slept, the decorations hanging, dinner finally prepped. They'd hung up and left out their stockings and sacks, and a little something for Santa, a glass of milk and some snacks. But whilst they all slept, the North Pole was a bustle, with all the presents to pack the elves needed to hustle. Meanwhile Santa was busy, double-checking his list to make sure that no child was going to be missed. The sled was finally loaded, reindeers ready to fly. It was time for old Santa to bid Mrs. Claus goodbye. Now let me fix that hat and take a good look at you. And before you go, you should pop to the loo. Oh, that's all right, Mrs. C. I don't need to go. And with that he hopped in his sled with a big ho ho ho. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. And don't forget me, cried a reindeer out back. Oh, sorry there, Rudolph, you're leading the pack. Santa first flew to Australia, then Japan, then Norway, helping himself to the snacks on the way. Soon Santa was stuffed. He'd eaten more than enough. Now can you guess what Santa needed to do? That's right, poor old Santa needed a poo. But where to poop was the question. Where could Saint Nick go? By the snowman? Down the chimney? Underneath the mistletoe? Then Santa looked down, his face a big frown, for his bright red suit had suddenly turned brown. His cheeks went bright red, his nose like a cherry. Suddenly Santa wasn't feeling so merry. But this was no time to dawdle, there were still gifts to deliver. So he threw his clothes in a sack, starting to shiver. Then grabbed 2 huge presents and down a chimney he popped, but as he reached the Christmas tree, suddenly he stopped. Stood there in the doorway, much to his surprise, stood 2 little children with wide open eyes. The children stood in shock, their mouths big wide O's, as Santa let out a slightly embarrassed "Oh ho ho ho." He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowlful of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and the children laughed when they saw him, in spite of themselves. Then they shouted out, "Santa!" faces full of delight. Father Christmas in his birthday suit, what an unexpected sight. Santa explained what had happened. "Oh, these things happen," they said. "Now let's find you some clothes that you can wear instead. Mummy has these old clothes she was going to donate, but you'd best hurry up, Santa, for it's getting quite late." When Santa came into the room, having finally dressed, the children smiled with glee, more than impressed. A pair of flip-flops and a sparkly dress, a hat covered in flowers. What a glorious mess. "You look beautiful, Santa. That outfit suits you." Well, Santa blushed just a little. "Do you really think so?" "We do." Santa thanked his little helpers, for they'd saved Christmas this eve. Then he climbed back up the chimney. It was time to take leave. He hopped into his sleigh and took off into the night, his dress twinkling like stars beneath the moonlight, and they heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers and patrons. See you next week. Bye bye.